So, like, there's a thing where I go out, and I'm at a club or a bar, and I'm surrounded by people who are turned on, and they're trying to read everybody's energies and stuff. And my energy is obviously like, you know, right? Like I'm standing around. Alright, so I'm standing around like, it's horrible. But anyway, I'm standing around and it's like, you know, whoa, you know, like people are, you know, and it's like, God, you know, woo, hey everyone, it's God, right? And then like, you know, all of the people out there who don't want to acknowledge that are like, and I could feel like there's, like I was at the Black Cat Depeche Mode party like a month ago or so, and this girl is on stage, like as one of the DJs, I guess, and like I'm looking at her, and she does this, like, and I could tell she like uses her laser eye beams to try and, you know, erase all of this, you know, like, oh no he's not, you know, like, oh that guy's not God, right? And I'm like, you know, I feel it like, and I'm like, excuse me, but, you know, stop trying to like fuck up my, you know, terminal energy settings, you know, because I'm like, yeah, was I high? Yeah, I was high, you know, and like, you know, I had my fucking terminal all nice and good feeling, so it was I probably looked like, you know, to other people, you know, I'd look like this, like, whoa, so good, and like all sorts, you know, wow, wow, or like when Neo sees, what's that guy's name? In the second movie, when Neo sees the guy who's like Asian and wearing sunglasses and they fight, you know, kind of like that, you know, while like other people are like standing around and they're like, you know, I don't feel that good, and like, oh, he's not supposed to feel that good, only God, or only I should, or whatever, you know, and it's like, they turn around, they're trying to fuck up my shit, and they're working with all of the agitating idiots out there, you know, so all of the shit that we're, like, fighting, you know, to keep our terminals, like, nice and pure and, like, excellent, like, these fuckers are out there working with these things. Like, the psychic vamps, right, are working with the spirit world trash that keeps trying to, like, you know, project garbage at us, right? But the thing is that, like, with all the updates, these people are really just, like, you know, just background trash. Like, they're trying to be, like, sorceresses, yes, sorceresses and wizards and warlocks and stuff, you know, and they're all using their old, like, you know, template deities, like, oh, the goddess, you know, they don't even realize how ridiculous the goddess is. It's almost as ridiculous as God, but like the goddess is basically, you're saying like a chicken McNugget, you know, like they're worshiping a fucking like thing that's just like, you know, ha ha, you know, wee. And since it's the goddess, you know, obviously, you know, woo, I'm a girl, you know. The goddess. It's not even Ronald McDonald or Mayor McCheese, you know? But, you know, some of them are still worshiping Ronald McDonald and Mayor McCheese, you know? Oh, Mayor McCheese, you know? Ho, 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 you know? Or like, oh, Ronald McDonald, and, you know, he comes out and he goes, he's like, koreka, 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 koreka. Anyway. Yeah, so, like, the psychic vamps are out there, and, you know, I've taken to calling them the Unspectaculars, right? Because they usually look very unspectacular. Like maybe wearing a wife beater, you know, and then like a, you know, like a hippie skirt or something while they're at the Depeche Mode party. You know, it's like, you know, I really don't care, like, how girls dress, usually, right? But if they come to the fucking Depeche Mode party looking like they just got off work at Ben & Jerry's, you know, it's like, you don't belong here. You know, go to like 80s night, you know, HF Festival or some shit, you know. Rather, go to 80s night or wait for the HF Festival to come out of your house. Oh, hold on. I think you belong over there at 80s night. I feel like doing this, but anyway. Yeah, like 80s night or something. Go to 18th Street or somewhere. Go to like Bar Pilar or St. X. Okay, these girls belong at St. X. All right, the Black Cat is not for like, you know, girls with like, you know, weird like hemp necklaces or like seashell necklaces, and especially on Depeche Mode party night. You know, woo! It's like what, like these people are like trying to crowd the Black Cat. You know, they're like jealous of like spectacular types and super spectacular types. And they're like, oh, this place is just for, like, people who look good? Well, we're gonna come in here with our stupid mind trash and, like, fuck these people up by impersonating, like, Jesus and, like, the goddess or whatever. And then, like, you know, overpowering their terminals with our mind trash, right? I'm gonna leave that up because, you know, the goddess. It's a fucking McNugget. It's not even, like, you know, I love saying Mayor McCheese. You know? But anyway, so, like these girls would be at shows, like, I went to see Man Man, and I'm like, you know, I'm high, and like, you know, the people, you know, stand around me, because they're all trying to like, you know, they can all, you know, I'm kicking out the jams, so to speak, and they're all like, oh, this guy's like, you know, pretty important or something, he's like the one or whatever, his energy's like super high, let's try to steal his energon cubes, or like fuck him up or something. So like people would stand like just out of my like, you know, peripheral vision, or like just in my peripheral vision, you know, and they'd be like this, and like, you know, using their mind, like trying to hack into my terminal, you know, and I just be battling them, you know, blah, 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 blah. And then this girl like turns around, you know, like I'm watching Man Man on stage, right? And then this girl turns around like this while I'm like battling stuff, and she's like, work, and I'm like, you know, she turns around and she's like she makes these weird faces at me, and I'm like looking at her, right? And I'm like, what are you doing, right? And she's like, me, right? And like I could tell that she's working with the agitating idiots, and she thinks that she's like, you know, hypnotizing me or some shit, and in reality she's just doing something so bizarre, like with her face and like, you know, her behavior. She's doing something so bizarre with her face and her behavior that I'm like looking at her going, you know, what are you doing? Right? But like she's like tapping into the whole like agitating idiot reinterpretation of what I'm doing, going, oh, you've got him and you're hypnotizing him. And I'm like, she so isn't. And I'm like, I just do this, right? I'm just like, okay, I'm not even going to look at you, because she's clearly not trying to communicate with me. She's trying to like pretend that she's like, you know, using her magic on me, right? So then, like, you know, I'm like, whatever. And I'm watching the show, and then, like, you know, the things come in, and I'm, like, moving the energies and stuff, and routing shit, and blocking stuff, and enjoying my weed, right? And then, like, you know, she turns around again, and she does it again, and I'm like, why do you keep doing this? And she thinks that, like, you know, she's captured my attention, right? And that I can't not look at her, but, like, you know, it's more like, what are you doing? You know, I'm like, okay, she's just weird, right? And like, I'm also like studying what she's doing in conjunction with what's going on in my terminal, right? And like, you know, I just block her out again eventually, and she's like, yeah, and it's like, you're not doing anything. Like, I wanted to tell her something. I wanted to talk to her because she was like, you know, working with like the shit that was going on in my personal terminal space, right? And so like, oh man, people. Anyway, so like, so like she does it a third time, and I'm just like, okay, whatever, you know. I'm like, yeah, you know, it's not working, girl. You know, you're not hypnotizing me or like, you know, enchanting me or anything. Anyway, so here's the deal, guys. The updates just keep a-coming. There's a big one, like, for you all. Excuse me. I guess the big update is that, like, all celebrities are poison. Like, you do not want to, like, welcome them or try to feel them or try to, or allow them to come in. Like, if I'm listening to Stereolab right now, you know, it just happened there. Alright, it's like, Stereolab. Of course, like, Mary Hansen comes, like, floating in, you know, because they're all, like, weirdo, demented, like, power addicts. I gotta, you know, they, and the thing is that I gave them a shot, and they still, you know, no, you're listening to this, and it's like, so, like, I can still enjoy it, you know, I can listen to, like, the Miles Davis, sextet or quintet, and be like, oh man, that's good stuff, and if Miles Davis comes around, it's like, yeah, the machine really kicked out some good shit, guys. It totally works. You can listen to the Beatles, you can watch the Muppet Show, and, like, you know, just, you know, cast John Lennon and George Harrison. I have less problems with George Harrison, but still problems, alright? But, like, you can just cast, you know, those guys back, you know, into the Red Tron where they're, you know, judged. And then if Jim Henson comes around and, you know, you're smoking weed and it's like, oh, hey, you're watching my show, right? Get lost, Jim Henson. You know? You're not Kermit. See, when I say the machine, like, oh man, the machine really kicked out some good shit, right? It's like Jim Henson built Kermit the Frog, right? And Kermit the Frog is, like, you know, really cool. Does that mean Jim Henson is really cool? Not necessarily, and I say no, right? No, no, not necessarily. No, it doesn't. Like, these celebrities do this. They create these amazingly great feeling things, and then they turn around and try to be like psychic vamp fuckers. Ah, you like my shit equals da-da-da. Alright? So, like, I can still enjoy Kermit, who I've actually kind of taken, like, under my wing as a character, because Disney just, you know, keeps trying to make him not progress as a being. Right? So, like, I've progressed things beyond the projected reality of the fallacy of a finite existence, and so Kermit has become, you know, a proponent of decriminalization of marijuana. And I say decriminalization because legalization right now seems far too ridiculous. I did the math. I did some figuring, and when marijuana is legalized, you could get an eighth of high-quality marijuana, right, for like $5. Like from GNC, you know, in a little bottle. You know, it'd be like this. Yeah. 1/8 or like, you know, 3.54, you know. You'd be like, yeah, let me just get this, and it'd be like $5. Or they probably wouldn't sell it in eighths. You'd probably buy, you know, a quarter for like 15. It's probably like 15 for a quarter. So maybe not 5, more like, you know, $8, an eighth. So like, or maybe a half. You get a ½ ounce, probably for like $30. Yeah. And so that seems so ridiculous to most people that, you know, oh yeah, legalize weed, and then you can go to GNC and get a ½ ounce of AK-47 for $30. Right? All the weed dealers are like, no, you know how many people I'd have to sell to? Well, you'd be out of business, weed dealer, and all of the you know, the giant weed growing farms would make all of the cash. Well then I would rather have it be decriminalized and not legalized. Get out there and vote, weed dealers. You know? So, like, the thing is that I'm very important, and people are trying to ignore me. You know? Like, all of this shit right here, it's like it is the most important shit in the universe right now. I mean, it is one of the most important, anyway, it is one of the most important things in the universe. Alright?